Pakistan Area Study Center Islamabad the professor scholar and researcher ते ये बड़ी पहली कॉन्फ्रेंस में शिरकत की थी डॉक्टर रुखसाना कमर साहबा ने। मैं उनसे गुजारिश करना कि वहाँ ते अपना पेपर पेश करूँ हिंदको इन नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन इन्हों का मौजू है। इन्हें से मैं गुजारिश करना कि वो अपना जरा पेपर है वो 7 से 10 मिनट के दरमियान अरसे पेश करूँ। ना मुख्तरमा डॉक्टर रुखसाना कमर साहब।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरी तरबियत ज़्यादा जो थी वो अंग्रेज़ी लैंग्वेज में हुई है और इसलिए आप माफ़ करें कि मेरा पेपर भी मैं इंग्लिश में ही प्रेजेंट करूँगी, लेकिन आप लोगों ने मुझसे कोई सवाल करने हैं तो मैं उर्दू में या हिंदको में भी मिस्टर ज़िया की मदद से आपसे जवाब दे सकती हूँ। मेरे मुकालमे का टाइटल है जी प्योरली पाकिस्तानी हिंदको इन नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन। और मेरी ये सबमिशन है कि हिंदको इज़ अ प्योरली पाकिस्तानी लैंग्वेज। और प्रोफेसर बलोच साहब ने भी अभी यही बात की है कि ये रीजनल ज़बान नहीं है बल्कि ये पूरे मुल्क की ही ज़बान है। हिंदको इज़ ऑल्सो अ यूनिकली पाकिस्तानी language because its geographical spread is parts of KPK and northwest Punjab and patches where the Hindkowans reside or have migrated. Its basic spillover does not cross into Afghanistan or into India, unlike several other languages spoken as mother tongue in Pakistan. Being indigenous, it is important to examine Hindko's contribution to the problematic issue of Pakistan's national integration. National integration theory may be applied to Hindko. Nations integrate when the citizens live peaceably despite their diversity in language, religion, politics, ethnicity, and other socio-economic factors. Language hegemony and discrimination against specific mother tongues can lead to national disintegration and as happened in 1971 in Pakistan. National integration is strengthened by the theory of linguistic convivencia. Convivencia is a Spanish term and it applies fully to Hindko and the Hindkowan. It means convivencia means peaceful coexistence, open or broad-mindedness, non-interference, forbearance, which is an act of tolerating, especially those things which are not actually approved. Convivencia is unconditional acceptance as opposed to prejudice, and convivencia is toleration as opposed to tolerate that only puts up with countenances or suffers. This is a historical picture from Islamic Spain, and you may kindly see that there is a Muslim man and a Christian man, and they're sitting peacefully and they're playing what was absolutely an Arabic and an Islamic game of chess. Convivencia is deeply rooted in Islam in Spain. It marked relations between Muslim rulers and Christian and Jewish subjects. It prevailed in Spain during most of the Islamic period, 711, 1492. And मैं इसलिए इसको emphasize कर रही हूँ क्योंकि अल्लाह ने मुझे मौका दिया था कि मैं कायदे-आज़म चेयर पे बार्सिलोना स्पेन यूनिवर्सिटी में मैंने 3 साल में वहाँ पे पढ़ाया और इस सब्जेक्ट को मैंने बहुत डीपली इसको मैंने पढ़ा। मैं वैसे भी हिस्टोरियन हूँ। ये जो किताब है जो आप देख सकते हैं, दिस शोज़ द गोल्डन एज ऑफ जूडिज़म. द Jewish religion only flourished under Islam, and they recognize it today when Jews and Christians alike spoke Arabic, That was the language of civilization, and the only, and I stress, only language of civilization, not Spanish, not Latin. And all Spaniards dressed like Muslims. Their homes, their synagogues, their temples were all fashioned with Islamic architecture. And you may go to Cordoba today, and inshallah, you will see that. Now, Hindko, if you look at this very carefully, you can see that the speakers of, if one speaks what is in his or her heart and nature, what is intrinsically in one's character, feelings and outlook, these characteristics are expressed in one's language. Languages are designed according to the user's requirements, habits and desires. For example, those who are fighters, their language displays the same emotion. For those who are technical, their language also displays the same characteristics. For example, the German language is designed for technology, and the German people are highly technical. Another example is that of plumbers, and the language they use among themselves have plumbing in it. Thus the Hindko one, by their language, indicate their characteristics. That is, they are non-aggressive, they do not boast, are humble, and they are accommodative to others. They speak this language which has no boundaries, and they have historically never created any fuss. And the history of Hindko, you may all know quite well, goes back almost 6,000 years. Hindko flourishes by peaceful coexistence. Indeed, and this is what I'm very impressed with, is that it promotes peacefully other of Pakistani languages. Its relation with Punjabi is one of sheer love, as its mystics, poets, authors, singers, and others are almost all fluent in both languages. Hindko's relation to Pashto is particularly exciting as a study in peaceful linguistic, cultural, and overall socio-economic existence. One speaks in his and her heart and nature, and what is intrinsically in one's characteristics. This photograph is very interesting, and I ask you to look at it carefully, and then at the end it's a little game we can play. आप लोग मुझे फिर बताइएगा कि ये कहाँ की photo है. Hindko is spoken mostly in urban areas, and correct me if I'm wrong. Its lexicon and socio-economic use is as important as its political impact today, when Pakistan is celebrating its 70th anniversary. The message conveyed by its literatures adds to both the country's unity and diversity, quite unlike proponents of other languages who usually advocate separate identities. Thus, Hindko adds to Pakistan's national integration by practicing convivencia, which is peaceful coexistence. Hindko and the Hindko one are clear that Pakistan's national integrity lies in the state and society's toleration, peaceful coexistence, convivencia of the Sufi kind for all types of differences among Pakistanis. The reference below in one of the Hindko poems is on the board, and I will not dare to read it in Hindko, but in English the translation is, "We are rightly proud of him who addresses a complaint to God." And that is a reference to Allama Muhammad Iqbal. "One whom the mullahs called infidel, this land was gifted to me by him." Sultan Mir has a very good another quotation, and in translation it is, "The nation that you wish to improve, think in your heart, what nation is that? You are it. Do not say anything to anyone else. Everyone should be devoted to self-improvement." Bashir Ahmed Soz's quotation is, I really love this quotation, which in translation is, flowers and more flowers are all on sides, like a green velvet blanket, spread across a whole floor, mates. The dew showers pearls as if bathing the whole motherland. The flowers, या जो फूलों का जो है यहाँ पे मेंशन, वो फूल हमारी कौमी ज़बानें हैं, जो बहुत सारी ज़बानें हैं, और उसके ऊपर हमारी प्यारे इस्लाम की सब्ज़ चादर है. Hindko is a hybrid language that not only surpasses borders but also in the Sufi mode contains the power to pacifically bring harmony between people who speak different tongues. The Hindko one themselves are multilingual and straddle ethnic and cultural borders. They are empowered to bring peace between communities in Pakistan and everywhere they reside in the wider world. And this is part of my paper which Mr. Ziauddin has been kind enough to publish in his wonderful journal called Mother. Sai Baba, after whom this conference is coming about, has a saying, and for me, the Hindko's greatest poets represents unity in the diversity of Pakistan. Sai Baba was born in Peshawar, but he chose to live in my hometown, the town where I was born of Rawalpindi, thus integrating the two cities, the two provinces, and multiple languages. His message is of peace, especially peaceful national integration or convivencia amongst diverse religions. This topic is so very relevant to Pakistan, especially during Rawalpindi's 2017 religio-political protests. Thank you very much. Shukriya.
ये बहुत